M equals me T equals them. User submitted a ticket for an issue relating to a recent project where we migrated their RDS solution to AVD. The change affected one of their lab apps. The fix was dead simple, but I had to call 35 users to apply the fix. By about the 26th user, I was going a little nutty. Bring. T, hello? M, hello, this is you, Najdak with, company name, I understand your application isn't working? T, that's right, I keep getting this weird error. M, no problem, I can fix that. Do I have permission to remote onto your system? T, you sure do. 6 minutes later, everything is fixed. I go to say goodbye, and the dreaded words seared into my brain weasel their way out of my mouth. M, is there anything else I can help with today? T, actually, there is one thing. Damn it. M, what is it? T, there's this weird thing going on with my printer. Damn it. M, what's happening? T, it won't scan right, and every so often, pages get skewed. It's not every time though. At this point, I'm resigned to the painful fact that I will have to spend who knows how long fixing this printer. But then, the user says something amazing. Something that makes my heart soar. T, should I submit another ticket for that issue? M, yes. Yes you should. Unfortunately I have to call a lot more people about this project issue. But if you submit a ticket, another tech will be able to help as soon as they are available. T, that's what I was thinking. Okay, I'll submit a ticket for the printer issue. Good luck on your other calls. If only everyone were like her. Ah well, a tech can dream. Users who fail completely at submitting usable info, even when asked, are driving me cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And #X200B. It never fails. Ticket title, laptop, sick / Ticket body, less than empty greater than. Do you need one for your work? Do you have one and it is broken? Did it get stolen? What, exactly, is it you think I or anyone can do with this level of missing information? And #X200B. That's just the beginning. Next they submit a ticket which at least sounds like an issue, but fail to provide any usable info. I'll directly ask them. 1. What is the computer name? 2. Please screenshot the issue and don't crop out valuable contextual info. 3. Something targeted to see if it is something we might have going on or be aware of. And they answer one question only. 1. And incorrectly often. 2. Giving wrong computer name. And #X200B. So then I tell them, it appears you're missing some info here. Please submit the remaining requested information. You know, treat them like a responsible adult. And they, I kid you not, either answer only one additional question, half-ass it so that answer is barely usable, or say stuff like what questions? Or ask you to drop what you are doing and call them, when you have 30 other people who are cooperating while they are not, effectively pushing themselves back on the line. And #X200B. Or how about the ones who play games with the waiting for customer status, who keep replying with useless, irrelevant things just so it's not waiting for customer, wasting my time because I have to keep managing their ticket and re-asking questions. And #X200B. Then on admin requests, I'll ask them specific targeted questions about the needs based on what they submitted. And they reply with one word or incomplete answers. I had one the other day I had to ask 3 times the same question, guy kept changing subject, going off on tangent, refused to answer basic questions necessary to vet the request. Literally there was nothing I could do for him. And #X200B. These are fully grown adults, who work for a well-known company. You have to have something going for you to get hired at. It isn't language issues. Nothing being asked is technical. If they can't answer 1, or 1 2 3, how do they deal with stuff like the DMV, school, voting, 401k, finances, etc., all of which is infinitely more complex? And #X200B. I just don't get it. It's like they are trying to make my life hell. And #X200B. Running off to hide in a fetal position now. And #X200B. And #X200B. And #X200B. Edit, thanks for the replies. Never knew so many others had the same experience. Even the guy who isn't in IT. Can't imagine doing like maintenance, where you may not be at your computer as often as you'd like, and having to deal with this. I guess it's just universal, people are bad at communicating. Makes me feel a little better at least. I work in an ultra-high volume environment, and with enough tickets we often begin to see trends and identify issues before our sysadmins notice. So getting decent info fast is important. I am often juggling 20, 30, even 60 issues from unique customers at a time and have a high close-end satisfaction rating. I experiment with responses to see what seems to work best. Unfortunately, I have not found a way to get people to take their own tickets seriously enough to answer 2-3 easy non-technical questions 100% of the time. When this happens and we have people cooperating and others not, they only deny themselves a fast resolve. Above is actually concerning to me, despite the joking rant, as there may be some legit hot items which then take longer to be identified. In this case, a worker is not just hurting themselves, they may be hurting company efforts. We get those people who submit a ticket and are never available, or who submit and then go on vacation or home for the day. I'll never get that. In my years at where I have been, we have a high same-day initial contact and close rate, yet they act as if they can't get support. There are some ideas in this thread. I plan to make another pass to go through it to see if I can try some new things. Thank you. And #X200B. And #X200B. This story actually happened earlier today, so I'm still slightly aggravated. Just a bit. Anyway, I work in a manufacturing company and we have some ancient tech that needs a network connection. One of the devices has stopped connecting to the network after some maintenance, so I head over to check it out. There's no way to tell on the device itself if it has a connection or anything of that sort, so I decided the first step would be to see what's going on at the switch. See if there's activity lights blinking, etc. Except I had forgotten that whoever wired up this building was actually a demonic entity who sustains themselves on pure chaos. The plate at the wall was labeled 9D. I head over to the network closet to take a look, only to remember that nothing in the networking closet has a letter designation. Easy enough, just look for the 9. Except, the wire numbering makes absolutely zero sense. We have 2 patch panels in this building. The first one starts at 2 and goes to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 89, 70, then a wire labeled both 44 and 71, before going to 54, 56, 57, then counts back down from 53 to 38. How do you think the second panel is labeled? Dear reader, if you guess filling the gaps between 8 and 38, you'd be mostly correct. However, I bet you didn't guess that it started back at 2, thus causing duplicates of 2, 8. Well, I figured at the very least this would give me cable number 9, but nope. This panel also skips 9, along with a few other seemingly random numbers, so it can fit 238 on a 24-port panel. So in all I had 7 duplicate cables, a completely nonsensical number scheme, a layout that makes no sense, and no goddamn cable 9. I decided to just break out the cable tester rather than figure out what in God's name these people were trying to do so I could find my wire 9. Short one, and you can guess the TL, doctor, from the title. I work for a rather large manufacturing plant in Ohio. While it's a fairly clean environment, it does still have areas that don't see much traffic and accumulate dust. I'm responsible for the computer hardware on site and troubleshooting any related issues. I got called on site to this location off normal hours due to an issue impacting production. The end user had just the day before treated me like crap because I was not allowed to provide her with a free additional laptop charger simply because she did not want to transport hers back and forth between work and home. She ended up being the one to take me out to the floor and show me the machine with the issue. Upon arrival, the keyboard was very dusty. No problem, I wasn't really worried about it. She decides it's too dusty and immediately grabs the canned air on the same table as the keyboard and starts to spray it without reading the label. Turns out the can had WD-40 in it. I was flabbergasted and did not really know how to respond. She acted really confused and asked me what had happened, and I simply said, I think you just sprayed the keyboard with lubricant. And #X200B. This was not the first run-in I've had with the user, and previous employees in my position have a similar experience. It was fun to see her do something so completely stupid. I'm not even sure she realized how stupid it was, to be honest. In a Tier 1 support role, I used to use a robust ticketing system for all kinds of issues. The ticket system would allow users at any time to reopen a closed ticket, for example 8 months later, and the technician wouldn't get an email or any kind of notification. You can already tell this isn't a great thing to have. One day a ticket comes in, user requests server access for another user. No biggie. Reach out, map the drive, confirm user has access. Ticket closed, life is grand. Next day, ticket reopened, with issues not relating to the file access. Like at all. 5 programs either requested or not working. User sends me an email, as I didn't know she reopened the ticket, and claims programs are not working and that I need to rectify this. Email conversation goes as follows. Me, hi X, is there a ticket in? I'm not available for the next while, so I won't be able to look into this for a bit. User, I put a ticket in at 11:15, time she reopened it, only half of the ticket was completed, the server access. Me, hi X, I finished a ticket for the user yesterday, and it only requests server access. Is there another ticket? As I see, you reopened the server access ticket and the issues described were not listed. User, I reopened it. Me, so you cannot reopen tickets and continue to add new issues to an already resolved issue. If there is an issue with what was done or the previous issues, then please let me know, otherwise, you have to submit a new ticket for new issues. And #X200B. So sure enough, they properly submitted a ticket and the various things she wanted done were actioned. Not a bad story, but more frustrating seeing this all the time until moving to a better ticket system. This is a bit different, not IT tech support, but photography tech support. TL, doctor, our client can't get a hired lens to autofocus. Turns out that she, and the dozen or so other photographers on the trip with her, didn't think of pressing the autofocus button on the camera. I work for a company which hires out cameras and lenses. Recently I met a customer who was returning a telephoto lens which she'd taken on a very expensive wildlife holiday. I asked her how it went, as I usually do, and she replied that she didn't get any decent images with the lens because it wouldn't autofocus. It was certainly working fine when we gave it to her. We test everything, every time, to make sure we avoid awkward situations such as, say, when customers have hired kit to go on very expensive holidays and the kit hasn't worked. She was on a trip with a bunch of other photographers, and naturally she asked for help. Most serious hobbyist photographers are only too happy to show off their knowledge, so she got lots of help. Apparently the lens had worked on some of their cameras, but not on hers, and nobody could work out why. I took it slowly and systematically. Does the focus ring turn smoothly, and can I see the optical elements moving within the lens? Yes. Mounting the lens on the camera, lens set to manual focus, can I focus manually? Yes. Lens set to autofocus, does it focus when I press the shutter button? No. Oh, that's interesting. Does it focus close up or in the distance? No, nothing. Okay, so does it focus when I press the autofocus button on the back of the camera? Yes. Most advanced cameras have extensive configuration options. You can set the metering and the autofocus to both be activated when you press the shutter button, that's the default, or you can separate the functions onto different buttons. They usually have a button high up on the back of the camera, where your thumb can easily find it, to activate the autofocus. The technique is called back button focus, and it has advantages in certain situations. So our customer had somehow managed to set her camera to use back button focus, which requires a deep dive into the menus. But she's never heard of back button focus and didn't even know it was possible. And none of the other dozen or so photographers on the trip thought of pressing that big button labeled F on. When I got the lens back to base, I told my colleagues that the lens hadn't autofocused for our client. Back button focus? Was the immediate response. I just don't understand this. Why do people buy photographic equipment that costs thousands of pounds/$, and not bother learning how to use it?